Well, as our unusually warm weather continues, we got to wondering what effect the temperatures are having on our outdoor plants and lawns.
Earlier today, Linda Barcz from the Barcz Company stopped by to answer some of our questions about our plants and this unusual weather.
Well, Linda, here we are, November 7th. The flowers are still blooming. How unusual is this?
This is very unusual. Usually we have frost in October, typically, because then the leaves drop and then we're able to dig a lot of trees out of our nursery. This year, we've been in sort of a conundrum, but you have to dig at some point.
We've been putting off a lot of our cleanup work here at the Bale Garden. There's a lot of things we need to do now, right? We need to get the tomato plants out and tell us what we need to go through.
Yes, well, I understand that on Friday night, they're forecasting 31 degrees. If we don't get that cold, we're gonna break all the records for the longest time without a frost. So these tomatoes are still ripening, but we might as well get this all cleaned up, get all these tomatoes pulled off, the beans, just get rid of everything. If you have it in your garden, totally dispose of the tomatoes. Don't use that in your compost.
What about the lawn? How short should we be cutting it?
You can cut it shorter because the grass is still growing, but leave it at about 2 inches. You want it shorter than typically during the growing season, 1.5 to 2 inches, because then it will still have some protection against a cold winter if that happens. And don't scalp it, and you are less likely to have little animals in there because if it's long, they use that as a sort of a home.
Okay. Should we be doing fall pruning, or do you leave the pruning until the spring?
It depends on when you have time. You can do pruning now because the leaves are off and you can see the structure of trees and shrubs, so it's just fine. If you have a maple or birch, this is actually a better time because maple and birch, if you do it in the spring, they bleed, they lose a lot of sap. It doesn't hurt them, but it's not attractive.
But some plants you have to prune in the fall because they set the flowers in the spring.
Well, actually, like lilacs, they have set their flowers now, so you don't want to prune those kinds of plants because you'd be cutting off flowers. And the ones that you can prune in fall or spring, the new growth will actually produce the flowers.
What about roses?
If you are a rose lover of the hybrid teas, you want to think about mounding up at the base of it with some soil. If you are the type of person that prefers rose cones, do not put them on. The poor plants would just bake in them right now. It's too warm. So you wait till the weather brings actual frozen conditions of the soil, and then you can do that.
Let's enjoy this while we can.
Yes, exactly.
I am.
Be grateful.
Thanks, Linda.
Thanks, Linda.
You're welcome.
Popcorn.
I know.
Now it looks beautiful.
And there's hundreds of buds on it. So.
I was surprised how many tomatoes we missed on the tomato plants.
There were so many on the ground.
There's a lot still out there.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
If they're starting to ripen, I guess you can pick them and they'll ripen not quite as deeply as
That's true. Or
as
make
they
some
were.
fried green tomatoes.
There you go.
Those are good.
You're good at that.
Well, I'll make those for you.